when I'm in, I'm in. There's no going back. And at the moment, I feel like Neo must have. But Morpheus replied, if you could go back, would you even want to? It's a good question. But the thing is, we live life in stages, and I've talked about a sense of becoming all the time, and that it can often feel like, am I ever actually going to get there? But the truth is, there is no there. It's about the person that you become and the traits that you actually embody. And it's why I've talked a lot about boldness and confidence and having a vision. All very important, but it all means nothing if you miss the last vital ingredient. And it's, well, do you value yourself for it to matter, for it to be meaningful? And do you value and believe in yourself enough that you know that you will achieve it? You have to have that final bit to actually make it real, to embody it, to put it into practice. And I really like tools, I like techniques, I like things that I can actually do. And I do find myself often feeling very overwhelmed and directionless sometimes. I can feel a bit hopeless and bleak. And in these videos, I do like to be as honest with you as I can be, because I do feel embarrassed actually at the moment. It's kind of a new thing that I'm experiencing, that I can feel quite pathetic, and I'm sure that there will be one or two people who watch this video and, you know, whatever they say or think, I'm sure that I will have thought it myself many times. Oh, he's a loser, or he's just living off his parents, or, you know, he's just some spoiled rich kid. And the thing is, honestly, those criticisms are mild compared to what other people have actually called me. But as I dissect my life and really examine it properly, what I actually realize is all of those people, and they're sort of key people along the way, had a fairly stable time in my early school life. But when I got to university is when, you know, the craziness actually really started. And the friends there who were doing much of the criticism, they didn't go on to have particularly happy outcomes in the end. And I notice a pattern, you know, in a lot of them that I recognise in myself. And it's, I think I have talked about this before, but I noticed the pattern that we were all, my group of friends at university were all incredibly capable people, but didn't really put it into practice. A lot of them were fantastic writers, great artists. Not sure about musicians. I don't think there were any musicians particularly. Well, maybe that was me. I was a good singer in the group, and pianist, and wrote music and things. You know, so creatives, real creatives, but a lot of drug dependency was a common denominator as well. And the thing is, you have to, however we do the congratulations online these days, today actually marks 4 months exactly of no alcohol, and all of these things. I mean, there's a film with Meryl Streep and Shirley MacLaine, and it's the biopic story of Debbie Reynolds and her daughter Carrie Fisher. And And towards the end, there's a humiliating moment for Meryl Streep's character, where she said, no, I haven't had anything to drink, so I'm hyper aware for this stream of humiliations. I think this line something like that. And to be honest, it's kind of the way that I feel. There's no hiding at the moment, and I wouldn't want to be hiding, but I'm not the kind of person to say, just like duck to water, just ride with it and breathe your way through it, and think, obviously that's not the full picture, of what's actually going on. That's not what we're talking about. It's difficult. It's really difficult, and it's overwhelming. And I find myself having enormous outpourings of emotion and things. I stayed up really, really late last night. And there's an online narcissism expert chap, really nice, from just outside of Liverpool here in the UK. He's called Richard Grannon. He's fabulous. And there's somebody called Liam Tufts, who has a podcast called The Dozen. I'm not quite sure why it's called The Dozen, but it might be, I don't know, is that a football reference? Maybe, I'm not sure. But Liam Tufts, the host, he has tattoos and things, had a troubled background, being abused really, really badly by his own father. And there was a moment where Richard Grannon, again, various stages of his life, he was teaching in schools of really troubled children who had, from really deprived backgrounds and violent backgrounds and sexual abuse and all this kind of stuff. And there was this moment where Richard just completely broke down in tears, in sympathy for these children. And this guy, if you looked at him, he's stacked, and he knows martial arts expert, and he's just religious about the gym. So, and you're watching this guy breaking down and just letting it all out. And I think there's part of all of us men that does actually feel this, that just wants to fucking scream. And there have been a couple of therapy sessions that I've had recently where I really, been, not 100%, but sort of 80 or 90% there of just letting rip about certain people that I've worked with in certain situations that I've been in, and just letting it all out. And the reason that my therapist is so fantastic is because he said, well, the thing is, honestly, Martin, you can do it here. I don't mind. I want you to get it all out. And that's where I am at the moment, honestly and truthfully. And it is really brutal at times. I got into bed last night and it all just sort of waterfalls and avalanches of emotion just piling down on me. I just found myself just spontaneously crying, and not really knowing why, but simply doing it, frankly, for the release of it all. I like a good cry. And obviously we're just enormously shamed and ripped to shreds by people saying, oh, you're just really gay, aren't you? You're a puff and blah, blah. And, all of these, all of these pathetic remarks that people make. But I think there is a part of us that just wants to say, why the fuck? Why does it all have to be so difficult? But it's at that point, and this is the important realization that I think will really help. It's at that point that you don't run from it, you don't deny it, you don't suppress it, you just embrace it. And you accept it's the way that you're feeling, you accept the position that you're in, and you allow yourself to be willing, to be open to the possibility that you can actually overcome it, that you can triumph, that you can win, that you can actually become stronger simply by being honest with yourself. Name the demon in front of you. Name shame, name anger, name regret, name feeling pathetic, name feeling useless, and just saying, right, okay. And I've quoted this before, I know, that there's a remake of the Audrey Hepburn film Sabrina, and they did a really fantastic modern version in the late 90s with Julia Ormond as Sabrina and Harrison Ford as Linus Larrabee and Greg Kinnear as the billionaire bachelor younger brother. It's a really good film. It's very, very glamorous as well, which I like. And Sabrina goes to Paris and she's working with photographers and fashion shoots. And there's a sort of mentor of hers who says, "You seem to be embarrassed by loneliness, by being alone. It's only a place to start." It's a lovely, lovely moment. And the thing is, you can take that word loneliness, which I do feel as well. I have broken up with my boyfriend, and despite it being really, really dysfunctional, obviously there were bits of it that suited me, that benefited me. Otherwise it would have been much easier to leave and not keep going back, because there were things that I was getting. And so just the physical touch is something that I miss, because I'm actually an enormously affectionate and tender and romantic man. I really, really am. So I am missing that. But it's okay to miss it. It's okay to go through all of these things. And I'm training myself, because I still don't fully feel it yet. But I will in time, and so too will you. This too shall pass. Which is why it's important to be present, because the good times pass and the bad times pass. But it's all part of the process. And if you can open yourself up, be willing to find the lessons and keep leaning into them, you can absolutely 100%. I know it, but it's just getting there, and I'm in a very difficult phase at the moment. But I have the character and the will to succeed. And I know, my dear friends watching this video, and thank you for watching, I know that you do too.